that experience to make sure that you're as ready as possible for a season with guys who know your system the best. So it's a lot of things by having this lockout that kind of affected our free agent players in that aspect. So, I mean, and you see also because of that, lower negotiated contracts because cap space will be at a premium coming into this year if we do get a deal done because the quote-unquote CBA won't take effect until the following year.
Okay. Wow. So I understand that that you're the Steelers player representative. So how are you chosen? What are your responsibilities with that?
Well, as you can tell, I had to know a lot of information. But it was actually an opportunity that was given to me by one of our players retiring, Deshae Townsend. I actually wanted to be a player representative back in 2007, but because of the fact that I did not have a long-term contract, so to speak, I was actually issued a 1-year first-round tender in restricted free agency during that year. So it didn't guarantee that I'd be on the team for more than that year. So they didn't want to pick a player representative who was going to end up leaving the following year potentially. And then the following year, when the open nominations came out, I had a transition tag, which was also another 1-year tender as well. So I went through a 3-year period where I got a bunch of 1-year deals, which didn't secure me enough on this team or say that I was going to be on this team long term. So I ended up not getting an opportunity to become a rep until this last year when Deshae Townsend retired, and and there was a vacancy, and I was voted in. You know, the players picked me and wanted me to be a part of this, and I'm really honored because it's something that's picked by your peers, and they trust you to convey their thoughts and their feelings, you know, in that manner to represent to all the other teams and teammates and player reps, and to hopefully work in a way that's advantageous to them. And speaking, you know, as they say, you know, you pick a few to represent many. And I feel honored to be in this position. And as you see now, just kind of trying to make people aware of what the true sides of this process is going, as well as trying to keep players' safety, welfare, and well-being at the foremost of all of our negotiations and keeping them in mind. And most importantly, working now for what we're doing now to help the players who come after us. Because this deal is not going to affect me. You know, I'm in my 8th year, and I'm not going to be playing that much longer. But it's going to help guys like yourself, like your peers who are in college now, the guys who are coming after you, the younger first and second year guys who are in this league, that are going to be here for the next 10, 12, 15 years, that what we do now, you know, carries them forward and allows them to give them a stepping stone to always continually move higher and higher in this process. You know, if we take a step backwards, we're pretty much telling everything that the people that came before us, our dads, our uncles, that we appreciate what you did, but we had to take the step backwards. That all the work that you've done to get us to this point now today, to make this league as a viable league as it is, that we're losing that battle, and that we're giving it back to the owners, where the power is now shifted to be 50-50, and that's what we want to continually keep it at, to make sure that this game, you know, takes care of its players after their playing days are done.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great. Thank you, bro, for doing that, for being a representative.
I appreciate it.
As an athlete myself, I understand the rigorous training for a contact sport like football. But for all the loyal football fans out there, could you go through the day of a normal NFL football player?
Yeah, no problem. I'll take you through an off-season schedule, which is what we're pretty much operating under right now. My day usually starts around 7 o'clock in the morning. Get up, make a shake, take my vitamins, and head out to the fields and do some base work. Just working on some general agility, position-specific work on the field for about an hour. After that, go over to the workout facility or the gym and go through my lifting routine, whatever it is that day. And from there, you know, come back home, relax, eat lunch, relax for a little bit, because it's usually highly intensive this time of year, especially thinking it as a preseason type of training regimen. And then in the evening, going and getting some cardio and handling business and whatever else in between on a daily basis. In-season schedule is a little bit different. In-season is a lot more rigorous, whereas on your time, I mean, I'm waking up every morning about 6 a.m., getting dressed, getting ready, heading out the house, usually out the house about 6:15, 6:30, getting over to the facility around 7 a.m., checking in with the offensive line coach to make sure there's new adjustments that week that we didn't see in game film that may have came across either from talking to other coaches or from something we saw in practice film. Getting a workout in, making sure you get a good lift and get some cardio, get the blood flowing early in the morning. Team meeting usually starts around 8:30. After the general team meeting, you can either have, at that point, a special teams meeting on Sundays, depending on what the special teams group is. That'll usually be about 15 to 20 minutes. And then you'll break off into offensive and defensive meetings with your coordinators. And that usually lasts till about 9:30. And then from there, you break and then you go into your individual group meetings, which can last till about 11:15. We'll head out, get on the field, go through some walkthroughs for about another 30 minutes, get a 15-minute special teams walkthrough, depending on what the area of emphasis is that day. You'll get a lunch break for an hour, and usually you're on the field no later than 1:30. You'll start your day, go through warm-ups, pre-practice routines, team takeoffs, and then you'll go through your entire practice schedule. Get off the field usually around 3:30, 3:45. Back in the locker room, you have usually a 30 to 45-minute window where you can either get additional lifting in or cardio or treatment done. And then after that, you're back up in the rooms again for post-practice meetings. Usually you'll either watch game film, watch practice film from that day, from the previous practice that you just did, or you'll watch game film cut-ups of specific scenarios that you need to be aware of, such as like third down situations, 1st and 10 runs, or any type of mixed long distance situations where the team might throw in a funky defense that you have to be prepared for. And after that, it's if you didn't shower in that 45 minutes, you shower up at the end of the day, get your additional treatment and workouts in, and then head home. I'm usually back home around 7 o'clock in the evening. And it's decompressing and for a little bit, and then watching game film the rest of the evening. They give us DVDs to take home or a personal computer to watch the different cut-ups. And, I'll usually go through those for about an hour and a half every day up until Saturday before we leave, just to make sure that I know everything and that I'm on the same page with the rest of my teammates. Thursday evenings, our offensive line actually gets together in the evening, and we watch film for about an hour and a half, just watching specific cut-ups as a whole unit, making our calls. We usually have our running backs come in so we can talk through adjustments, potential issues where we might have to switch off on defenders, blocking assignments, and just pretty much that's the life until you get to Saturday and you either travel or that day around 1 p.m. After a walkthrough, or you walk through, get time off, and meet at the team hotel for team dinner, team meetings, and stay at the hotel overnight. And then Sunday, it's the big day. It's the day that we look forward to, and that's a chance to show off what we practiced that entire week.
Okay, I thought my schedule was bad. Okay.
You got school, bud, and the NCAA has a 20-hour work week. So after that, there's no classes. So this is your profession. This is what you practice for, and you have to take it that way. And a lot of guys think, oh man, if I make it in the league, I'm good. I don't have to worry about anything else. I don't have any more classes, no more assignments. No strength coach riding my butt about getting there to workouts on time. Killing me in a workout if I am late or if I'm not working hard enough. At this level, it's all about your own individual will and attitude, to approach every single day, because nobody's going to be behind you, pushing you and telling you, oh, you need to do this, oh, you need to get better. I mean, they're going to remind you a couple of times if you're slacking, but if it's something that's continual, you're gone.
Yeah. Hey, bro, do you remember the movie Replacements?
Yes, I do.
I'm just wondering, do you think that the owners would stoop down to hire replacement players this time if the lockout doesn't resolve?
No,
it didn't work when Dad was playing.
Yeah. Well, the difference is between back then when they did have what they called scabs or players who crossed the line, versus now, which we're now not working. Period. Back in 89, 90, 91, when the players tried to strike, it was because the players didn't want to go to work, but the facility doors were still open for the owners. So the owners went in and said, well, we need to get football playing. So they went and hired past players, former players, guys who didn't make the cut to get people on the field because they felt that fans were dumb enough that they wouldn't care who was on the field as long as they saw, quote unquote, the team colors being represented on a field of play in a match. Whereas now the owners actually locked the doors on us and told us, you can't come to work. We want to go to work. We want to be in the locker rooms. We want to be practicing. We want to get ready for a season. But the owner said no, locked the doors and said, you're not allowed on the premises. You're not allowed to enter this place. So there's no way they would bring in other players because that means they'd have to open their doors. And it's something where the employee actually wants to work for the employer, but the employer doesn't want them to work. So that situation back when the replacements came out and scab players were instituted in the NFL was because the players chose not to work. And this is on the totally opposite side, whereas players want to work, but the owners don't want us to work. And so no football will be played.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
All right. Well, coming from a football family with our grandmother being the one and only NFL Mother of the Year, Julia Browner, our father Ross playing in NFL, 3 uncles, Jimmy, Joey, and Keith Browner in NFL, uncles Willard and Joe played college ball, cousin Tim played college ball, and now Keith, his name is Keith, but he likes to be called Tellis, graduated from Berkeley, and hopes to play him a professional, and also my aspirations. So, tell me, how does it feel to be part of the football history of a family?
It's amazing. It's an amazing honor. You know, growing up as a kid, you know, you always want to, first off, you want to make it to college and play college football. But the dream of actually playing professional football is just an amazing feeling. Having the opportunity to pretty much live out that childhood dream and be a part of such a historic and storied family in the National Football League is amazing. It's one of those things, you know, the day never goes by when you hear somebody tell a story about your father or your uncles, and to realize that you're living that dream. You're part of that select few that get the opportunity to play in this league, and to do it as long as they had, and as I'm hopefully trying to do. It's amazing. You know, I look at, you know, the fact that one guy in particular, Coach Dick LeBeau, who just got inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. Coach LeBeau actually coached our father in college and in the pros at Cincinnati, and now he's the defensive coordinator on the team that I'm playing for. So to know that there's individuals like that and have seen 2 generations of players that he's been a part of, you know, it's pretty spectacular. And to know that, you know, the lineage carries on, that it's not just, oh, this one player. No, it's in our DNA. And I think, like you said, having not only a father, having uncles, having cousins who all play football and who all aspire to get to this level, have the ability, because you got an opportunity to get in college and you have that opportunity to be able to play in the pros. I think that bloodline goes a long way in knowing the type of character and the type of individual you're getting if a team decides to either draft you or pick you up in free agency. And, you know, not a lot of people can say that. You know, you have a couple of like father-son tandems, you know, like the